You know what I really love is a good shortcut. Not like the lazy kind of shortcut where you make something worse off than it could have been. I'm talking about the work smarter, not harder kind of shortcut. And if you're a writer, I've got a killer one for you. This is a storytelling framework that lays out every major plot beat in plain English. No guesswork, no fluff, just a clear roadmap to help you write faster, sharper, and with way more confidence. So if you want to tell better stories and ditch the slow build and endless exposition, you're in the right place, because today we're breaking down one of the most effective storytelling tools you've probably never heard of, the ABDCE structure. A 5-part framework, ABDCE 5, used by professional authors, screenwriters, and even journalists to hook readers fast, build tension, and leave lasting emotional impact. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use it to plot faster and write stronger character arcs, and how it compares to other frameworks like the 3-act structure and the hero's journey. So let's dive in. Chapter 1, what is ABDCE? As you might have guessed, these letters stand for something. A is for action, B is for backward, D is for development, C is for climax, and E is for, you can probably guess, exposition. I'm kidding, ending. These 5 beats create a natural and emotionally compelling flow. Instead of starting slow, ABDCE throws you right into the action, then delivers everything your audience needs as the story unfolds. This structure is especially great for short stories, serialized fiction, and character-driven narratives. Chapter 2, the 5 stages. Let's break down each one of these using popular examples from film, and even if you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to give you a little bit of background so you'll get the idea. A is for action. Start with a jolt, an unexpected event, a problem that demands a response. This is your hook, and it gets your story moving immediately. An example is from The Hunger Games, something that we've talked about probably way too much on this channel. The story begins when Katniss volunteers as tribute. There's no warm-up, just instant stakes, emotion, and conflict. So here's your writing tips. Start with a moment that changes everything. Even if it's just one character's world that's shifting, this plot point is also commonly known as an inciting incident. It's a moment where your character's world completely changes and there's no going back. B is for background. Now that you've grabbed the attention, it's time to ground us. Who are these people? Where are we? Why does any of this matter? Here's an example from the movie Elemental. After the chaotic opening in Element City, we zoom in on Ember's life, her family, their traditions, and the pressure she feels to take over family store. I watched that movie with my 3-year-old son in a pool on a Disney cruise over the summer. It's not bad. This backstory gives weight to the story's emotional stakes. Here's another writing tip. Reveal context through action or interaction. Don't just dump exposition. That's terrible. D is for development. This is the heart of your story. Relationships evolve, conflicts deepen, and tensions rise. Here's an example. In Kanto, we watch Maribel uncover the cracks in her family's magic and in their relationships. Her journey forces every member of their family to confront their fears and insecurities. For your writing tip, every scene should either raise a question, test a value, or deepen a relationship. C is for climax. This is your story's emotional high point, the moment where everything comes to a head. Here's an example from The Lion King. Wow, heavy on the Disney examples today. Simba faces Scar in a dramatic showdown, but it's not just a fight. It's Simba deciding to stop running from his past. Scar is such a, he's a piece of work, isn't he? And here's a writing tip. A great climax is both inevitable and surprising. It should answer your story's biggest question. And last, E is for ending. Time to land the plane. This is where your story resolves or leaves the audience reflecting. Here's an example from The Great Gatsby. We're left with the fallout of Gatsby's obsession and a haunting final image that lingers long after the last page. Gatsby gets shot in his pool. Here's a writing tip. Endings don't have to be neat, but they do need to feel earned. Chapter 3, let's talk about why ABDCE works. Writers love this structure because it's clear. You always know what comes next, but it's also flexible. It works for short stories, novels, single scenes, and even just chapters. It's paced, which is probably the best thing about it. It keeps the momentum flowing while allowing for emotion and growth. It's also strategic. It encourages intentional storytelling, not just filler. Whether you're writing your first short story or revising your 3rd novel, ABDCE gives you a roadmap that works. Chapter 4, how to use ABDCE in your writing. So here's how to build ABDCE. Oh man, I wish there was an easier way to say that. Outline. First thing you need to do is brainstorm a hook. What's the opening action that launches your story? Then build your background. Who are the characters and what matters to them? Then plot the development. What escalates the conflict and reveals character? And then designed the climax? What choice, confrontation, or crisis changes everything? Close with the ending, obviously. What resolution feels meaningful or thought-provoking? You don't need to follow it rigidly, but checking your story against these 5 beats can keep your pacing tight and your characters emotionally grounded. Chapter 5, how ABDCE compares to other frameworks. So how does ABDCE stack up against other methods? Okay, first you got the 3-act structure. This one's been very popular since like the time of Socrates or Plato. I can't remember who came up with it. Somebody Greek came up with it. I don't know. This is pretty popular in film because you have the setup, a conflict, and a resolution. Very simple. Basically, it's a longer form of ABDCE with a slower start and a more rigid transitions. Then you've got the hero's journey. Everybody knows about the hero's journey. This is great for character growth. You've got the call to adventure, trials, transformation. Those are the 3 basic parts of that story, although you break it down into way more. I think I did a video on it, but I can't remember. This story is heavily symbolic and better for epic mythic stories. Think Star Wars, even though I don't know how much that actually adheres to the hero's journey. Then you've got Freytag's Pyramid. I just talked about Freytag's Pyramid in another video. It was the one about Hamish and tragedies, because this is actually just a tragic story. Freytag's Pyramid only describes tragedies. It's also used a lot in classical literature. So you've got exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, denouement, or resolution. You could say either one, but if you want to be fancy in French, you could say denouement. This one is what you probably get taught in middle school. It's more formal. It can be slow, if not adapted to modern pacing. Also, again, it really works in tragedies because of falling action. But if you want to know more about that, then just look at this video. Hopefully it's right here where I'm pointing. Then there's Kishōtenketsu. I have a hard time saying that one. I wrote a whole article about this on my blog. I'll link it in the comments. This is used in East Asian storytelling. It's got an intro, development, twist, and then a conclusion. The great thing about this one is it doesn't rely on conflict. It's kind of just a slice of life, retrospective, sometimes poetic type of storytelling. ABDCE is fast, emotional, and plot driven. It's not better than others. It's just simpler and more versatile. Chapter 6, common mistakes to avoid. The first one is too much background. Don't drown readers in exposition after your hook. Flat development is another common mistake. Make sure characters actually change when they face obstacles. Weak climax. If it's not the most intense moment, then rewrite it. This is like life or death for your character. A rush ending can be bad. Don't skip the closure. Let the moment breathe. Let your reader enjoy the catharsis of the ending of your story. ABDCE only works. Each stage carries its weight. Chapter 7, final thoughts. And by the way, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're putting out a lot of videos where we're giving some practical writing advice and also looking at some classic literature and how that writing advice interacts with those stories. So I'm trying to make it entertaining, but also practical and give you tips that you can take and use in your own life. If that's the kind of stuff you like, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that we can grow as a channel. If you want your stories to hook readers fast, build emotion naturally, and leave lasting impressions, then use ABDCE. It's your secret weapon. Use it, tweak it, make it your own. Okay, I have a writing challenge for you. Take a scene or story you're working on right now and break it into these 5 parts. What's your A? What's your B? What's your C? What's your D? What's your E? And if you want, you can drop that outline in the comments. I'd love to read it. If not, don't worry about it. You can keep it to yourself. And if you want to fill in the blank template to structure your story, you can grab that in the comments. I have a free ABDCE worksheet linked below. So go ahead and grab that and download it. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, we're trying to give practical tips and look at some classic literature, movies, and have fun doing it. And always remember, keep writing.